What's up, everyone? What people nowadays call the carnivore diet has nothing to do with our natural diet. Biologically, a carnivore is an animal that eats at least 20% of its diet as raw meat. That's the definition. Which means that if an animal would eat 80% plants and 20% raw meat, it would be considered an obligate carnivore because it knows by instinct that it needs to eat meat to be healthy. Human beings in nature eat 70 to 100% raw meat, which also means that we are obligate carnivores, and feeding a human being a vegan diet is animal cruelty. People who follow the carnivore diet and eat 100% cooked muscle meat have nothing to do with fucking carnivores. You're a joke trend follower. Understand that at last, alright? People who've been eating vegetables, grains and fruit all of their life and the cooked meat along with it, who now cut that out and only eat the cooked muscle meat, simply cut out some parts of their slave diet but still eat that part of that fucking brainwashed loser diet. You've been eating shit all of your life and you never understood that you're actually supposed to eat raw meat. So now you switch to eating only cooked muscle meat. That has nothing to do with nature or with being a carnivore. You can't call yourself a carnivore or that you follow a carnivore diet. No fucking carnivore cooks their meat. That doesn't exist. As a kid, you got addicted to the carcinogenic brown crust of bread, cookies and cooked meat. And now you only eat the caramel coating of the cooked meat. What has changed? Pretty much fucking nothing. Besides all of that, when you choose to only eat 100% cooked muscle meat, it obviously becomes religious and it's hard to snap out of it, similar to veganism. And of course it's also not sustainable because you also create toxins by cooking your food, just like most slaves, and it will catch up to you sooner or later. The carnivore diet is essentially just a trend for slaves who want to feel special and believe that they are eating a better diet than the general population. And they are, and it's 1,000 times better than veganism, obviously, but it's not going to lead to optimal health, not even close. Aajonus Vonderplanitz was the only guy in the last few decades who promoted at least something close to the natural optimal human diet. He wasn't right about everything. He promoted vegetable juices as mineral supplements. Somebody who has studied nutrition for over 20 years could not possibly recommend this. Blood has every single mineral and also every other nutrient because blood literally has every single nutrient. Vegetable juices have anti-nutrients that bind to the minerals and don't let you absorb them, not to mention all of the plant toxins. Blood is the best liquid you could possibly drink, and of course also the best mineral supplement. I believe that he was paid by Green Star or another juicing company to promote them or juicing in general, because even if you would promote it in general, you would still end up buying Green Star if you're serious about juicing. I don't necessarily blame him for this if it's true. I understand that he was trying to make a living and maybe he really believed in the vegetable juices. I also don't agree with the overuse of dairy because there are people out there who have digestive issues and react allergic to the proteins and sugars found in pasteurized or raw milk. It doesn't matter. Raw cheese, even raw butter is usually a problem, even though it only has trace amounts of these sugars and proteins. It's not simply detox. If you're intolerant, then you gotta stop consuming dairy. Otherwise you will keep irritating your gut and never heal. It's very important to understand. And the last little problem is that he never really said how important it is to eat organs. He talked about raw meat and most people would think that he's talking about raw muscle meat. He had the recipes and the recipe for living without disease, of the shakes with glands and organs. But other than that, not much. Talking about the brain having the most vitamin D would really make a difference for some people who need vitamin D. And little stuff like that would of course add up in the end, and that's what creates optimal health. Of course, we should not forget that he's one of the very few people who talked about how toxic vaccines, salt and supplements are. A few people talk about vaccines, but not about salt and supplements. And most of us wouldn't be here without him. I will always have a lot of respect for what he did. Thanks for watching, guys.